Hi friends, welcome to Surkhap Talks. Surkhap Talks is a platform where we encourage people to talk out their issues, to sort out their issues. So in this series of Surkhap Talks, we are inviting experts from various fields who will help us maneuver the day-to-day challenges which we face in the current times. So today's topic is corporate life. And we have invited Mr. Vipul Sabharwal, who is ex-MD Luminous Power Technologies and has got over 40 years of experience. Thank you so much, sir.
Pleasure to be here with you, Bindu. It's a great opportunity to meet you after a long period of time, and it's a pleasure and honor to be on your channel.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, मेरा पहला question ये है that you've served so long in a corporate environment. You've been an absolutely wonderful boss, had an excellent stint. So, sir, आपके लिए easy था यहाँ तक पहुँचना to become an MD of a reputed company?
I think it's a great question. Very good question, and thanks, Bindu, for asking this question. Corporate life is a long journey. It's a 40-year long journey, and I think no journey is easy. Every journey has its own charm, obstacles, problems to come along with it. But as long as you remain on course and say, okay, I want to be on the course, and I will keep playing the game and keep learning as we go along, I think the journey is enjoyable. Journey is full of fun, and you will meet your sort of achievements and accomplishments as you go along. Yes, there will be challenges,
yes,
but
sir.
at every point in time, I am a very strong believer of Almighty God, that it will help you, it will guide you, it will bring you to the right position and make you take the right decisions.
Great, sir. So if you have to tell us one or two challenges which any person who is aspiring to be an MD can face, any one or two challenges?
I think, first of all, being a managing director or being a leader of a team is a question of choice, right? It is not that everybody wants to be a managing director. It is not everybody should be a managing director. It's like in the game of cricket. I can take so many examples. There are such great batsmen. They probably have a significant contribution to the game of cricket and to the Indian cricket, but they're not the captain. But there are some captains who may not have phenomenal records under their batting or bowling, but are phenomenal leaders. So it's a question of choice. It's just a personal choice whether you want to be in the managing director, whether you want to be leader of a team or not be leader of a team. And that, once you make the choice, then of course things come into play that you must be subject matter expert, you must know the sector. You must know what the strategy is going to be to take the company to its goal. You must be a people's person, must be able to listen to people, understand people, and work with people. If you hear some of the latest, videos of Obama, which is on YouTube, he says, if you only want to be successful, you must learn to work with people and maybe able to make an impact on them.
Great, sir. Okay, sir. So my second question is that any person who's aspiring to be, reaching a top position or being an MD, the person should go for a mentor or mentors for that matter, or is it just okay to hard work कर लो और पहुंच जाओगे जहाँ पहुंचोगे?
This is a very, philosophical question, Bindu. So I can talk about myself and I talk about a lot of people around me. I think mentorship plays a very important role. Even if you look at Hindu mythology or any kind of mythology, the role of Guru, the role of God have been defined separately. The role of Guru is separate, the role of God is separate, and therefore I believe mentors play a very important role. And I believe mentors are not necessarily somebody who is significantly senior than you. He can be a very good friend, he can be a sounding board, he can tell you what the mirror looks like, and somebody whom you can trust. It's somebody where you can fearlessly go and talk and say, it could be your wife. It could be your husband, it could be anybody. So, I'll take an example. Once there was a research done on leadership style, and I was being, like a subject, and there was a survey, and this lady gave me a report of, I think it was 7 to 10 pages report. And she said, why don't you read it? She said, if you go and tell your wife, she'll say, why did you have to hire such an expensive, consultant to tell you? I have told you this about you. So the point I'm trying to say is that mentor is important. The sounding board is important. Yes, a lot of mentors come from the corporate world. They could be your previous bosses, they could be your professor, they could be your spouse. But I think mentors have a role to play because sometimes you need that space to be able to go and talk freely. And as you will go up the ladder, you'll have, it's a little lonely job up there. You need mentors and you need people who can give you good piece of advice.
So friends, again we have learned that it is just okay to discuss your issues with anyone, and especially what the words which sir has used. One is that any trustworthy person need not be very senior. Sounding board hona chahiye. So please, especially people who are like 25 to 35 years and aspiring to reach senior position, please have mentors, talk to people. Don't just stay in silence and have an issue with that. Okay? So it will help in your journey. सर अब एक क्वेश्चन है, आज के सिनेरियो में बहुत सारे लोग आईआईटी आईआईएम नहीं कर पाते और प्रीमियम इंस्टीट्यूट के भी नहीं होते. सो दोज पीपल शुड एस्पायर, or it is a major problem that they don't have that degree, so they will always be in that middle management thing?
I think this is a very interesting question, and I will answer it in a couple of ways to put it down in a, so people get the whole framework. To be successful in any sphere, whether it's managing dataship or your own business or any sphere, I think knowledge is critical.
Okay, sir.
So I think education plays a very important role in building that knowledge in a structured manner. That's, I think, the framework one of the learner. The second topic, which is very important, is that, which is the part of education, which is how education is taught, is to have critical thinking capability.
Okay, sir.
Right? So what MBAs do, or what IITs do, or what engineering colleges, or even basic education does. I remember in my school, you get projects and you get debates. So what is debate? Debate is basically building up your critical thinking capability.
Perfect, sir.
So you need to develop the critical thinking capability to be able to come and take well-informed decisions. The third aspect in being successful, and it's any sphere of life, is to be a people's person, to understand what teams are, how people work in teams, what leadership is all about, and how does things happen in the world. So I think there are three critical aspects: knowledge, critical thinking, and people. And why do I say that? In any situation, be it war, be it organization, be it family, be it anything, I think it is the ability to first digest the data and see what decision needs to be taken. That's point number one. But that is half the battle. But the second part of the battle is, how will that decision be executed? How will it be implemented?
Yeah.
So that is called about people skills. So I think that, in my view, is equally important, and sometimes probably more important than the first one. So just to answer your question in a summary manner, knowledge, critical thinking capability to take right decisions, and have people skills to see how to execute the decision and take it to the culmination of winning and bringing the joy of doing the job is important. Yes, the engineering colleges, the premier institutes do provide the platform. To say that they don't provide the platform would not be correct. But just to say, are they the only ones who provide the platform? I won't agree with that. But I think platforms are important, and what you make out of the platform is probably more important.
Perfect, sir. So friends, good news for all those people who have not got into IIT, IIM, or are not from the Premium Institute. You have a lot of scope. So just keep doing the hard work.
One comment.
Yeah.
I'm neither IIT nor IIMs.
One more testimony. तो सर अब एक बड़ा इम्पोर्टेंट सवाल है कि कुछ एम्प्लॉयज जो होते हैं वो अपना थोड़ा ब्रेन यूज करते हैं, तो बॉस को बुरा लग जाता है. दे से अरे एवरी टाइम आई से टेल समथिंग एंड द पर्सन स्टार्ट्स यूजिंग हिज ब्रेन. एंड सम पीपल दे वांट कि यार खुद दिमाग ही नहीं लगाता. तो देयर इज दिस कॉन्फ्लिक्ट. तो अब एक एम्प्लॉय को आइडियली किस रोल में रहना चाहिए कि बॉस कुछ बोल दे तो उन्हें बिना थ्रेटन किए, हाउ शुड द पर्सन वर्क?
So I think this is it's a fair question. It happens at the grassroots. जब करियर की शुरुआत होती है So employees also new, environment also new. The supervisor doesn't know how to handle this young, enthusiastic person who burdened to give all the answers to every question which is put up. I think the okay, let's put a framework to it. The framework, I would say that you have to be value adding and contributing person.
Okay.
That's point number one. But I think I have another frame also to say, you don't have to win every battle in life, you have to win the war. Right? So there's no king in the world which has not lost a battle.
Perfect.
The kings have lost battle, but they won the war. So I think the youth has to understand that if we are in a situation, if I'm contributing, even if my idea is not taken up, or if my supervisor is unhappy with him, does not mean that he does not like me. It is situational. At that point in time, that idea is not something which he wants to fly around with. It is something else probably which is more important. And the youth must give it to the leader to allow the judgment to say that he has a better judgment. If the employee or if the person is very upset, you can always go in an individual situation and speak to supervisor. I said something, you didn't like it. Can I get your feedback to one point? I think what is missing to a large number of youth is the inability to go and ask for feedback.
Sir, here I want to add another thing. When they talk to their bosses, at times the response, because of whatever reasons, may not be that good. So what this employee does, he will go to the super boss, thinking that from there the solution will come. But issue तब होता है जब 99% cases में जो employee super boss के पास गया या तो उसको नौकरी छोड़नी पड़ती है और he is asked to leave.
Yes and no. I understand where you are coming from. So I think it's the fabric of the organization which matters. There are organizations which allow freewheeling. And there are organizations which say, okay, आप किसी से आगे बात कर सकते हो. And the organization has the maturity to appreciate and accept that a person who may be at a different level can go and speak to multiple people. And I would encourage that. But it is how you go and ask the question. Is it complaining? Is it seeking feedback? If you go head on and say, my supervisor did not agree with me and I am angry and I am agitated, and go to supervisor, I am angry, this company is not in the right hands, and so on and so forth.
That's the usual route.
That is not something which demonstrates maturity.
Perfect.
I think you have to go it in a mature manner and say, I have a thought, I presented it, my line supervisor said this much, can I get feedback on my thought? People should go with a view to get feedback. I mean, if you read the book of Netflix, it says very clearly that they encourage giving objective-oriented feedback.
Perfect.
If people are unhappy with something else, they say, don't come to me. Go and tell him what your feedback is. And they encourage employees that be receptive to feedback. I think it's a culture and it's a fabric of the organization which is important. And I think everybody, the first employee, the top man in the company, both have a role to develop the culture and fabric to allow constructive feedback in an organization.
Perfect, sir. So friends, the word is constructive feedback. So if you have an issue with your boss, it's okay to kind of go to the super boss, but with the attitude that what is it that I can change in myself? And it need not be that gossip monging session. So many a times employees face this situation where the targets are very unrealistic. And then continuously they have to meet customers, vendors, there are meetings round the clock. And then a boss who can be a bit humiliating at times, तो burnout stage आ जाता है. A person feels कि अब कोई point नहीं है because it is not working. Because of many reasons he is not able to or she is not able to perform. तो उस वक्त क्या करना चाहिए?
So I think I will divide, this question and this answer in a very. So I would say that a person's career is into three major buckets.
Okay.
One is early stage career, and one is mid stage career, and one is the final stage of the career. In the early stage career, it is important for individuals to be in the right ship.
Okay.
They must join the right ship. What do I mean by right ship? Which has a good platform, good culture, proven track record. You have an idea Right? It is synergistic with my thoughts. And it's not easy to get to the right ship in one go.
Okay.
Some people change one company, two company, three company, and they get on the right ship. And in the right ship, success and failure is not only attributed to bad people. It is
Correct, sir.
attributed to maybe strategy, maybe external factors like the market, and yet there may be people who've done well, maybe people who not done. But by and large, these organizations are able to dissect the performance into the various buckets. That did we fail because of strategy? Did we win because of strategy? Did we fail because of execution? Did we win because of execution? And are there some employees who are not doing well, or some teams in that ship are not doing well? And these are ships which can also miss target.
Uh-huh.
And therefore, the employee has to make a very, it's not an easy decision to say, am I on the right ship? Am I on the wrong ship? If the answer is that I'm on the right ship, and even if you're not hitting target, remain on course, because the ship will correct its course. It will find the leadership and the depth of leadership in the team will find an answer to the problem of non-performance and success, and course correct or bring more resources or re-strategize.
Okay.
That's very. If after a long period it's not dealing, then the ship will not meet a destination, is bound to either be harbored or there'll be new team on the ship, or many things may happen. So I think it's for an individual to decide, if I'm on the right ship, even if 1 year, 2 years we are not met the target, remain on course, because still a lot to learn. These are the building years and building blocks of the career. Achieving target, not achieving target, I'm not saying they don't matter, but they matter enough, but also important is the learning phase of the game. Then comes the mid-stage career, where an individual is about to become a brand. People say this person achieves targets, he's a performer. You're reaching the stage where you are beginning to be recognized in the industry for what you do and what you bring. At that stage, you have an equal stake in the ship and in your career and in your brand and yourself. So,
Sir, here there is no average time, like people keep jumping 1-2 years they go, or there are people जो 10 साल भी रहते हैं उनको जाने बोलो तो भी नहीं जाते हैं. So
it's a very, it's a mix of personal question and a mix of what the strategy is. You don't have to necessarily leave the company. I mean, I'm not saying always work for one company, and I'm not also recommending work for 20 companies in a 40-year career. I worked in 6 organizations in a period of 40 years. Maybe I could have been less, maybe one more could have been there. Very difficult to part a judgment.
okay, sir.
But in the mid-stage career, it's important that you also take accountability of what is happening on the ship. And therefore build the culture, build the ethos, and make sure that the fabric of the organization remains intact and the performance happens. Then comes the stage when you are the leader. No place to hide. There you say, okay, I take ownership of the performance. I also take ownership of the culture of the organization. I also take ownership what people feel on the ship. That doesn't mean I only worry about people feeling. I still have to deliver. And you take both into play and take the right decisions as to where the ship will go and what culture will be. Probably you'll make mistakes.
Okay.
So,
Which even jumping a company would be the same.
no problem. But always ask a couple of questions. If I'm leaving, why? If I'm joining somebody else, why? What will it add to my career? What will add to my skill set? Will they train me? Will they have the right set of people to allow me to flourish? You're never going to be an individual player on the ship. You'll always be a team player on the ship.
And so friends, one very important thing which sir has said, and I think we all should kind of go blindly with it, is that just changing a company may not change the situation or anything. The learnings would be the same, challenges would be the same. So it is better to be at some place for some time and learn and be a better leader to take that on. सर अब एक अगला सवाल है कि एक स्पेशलाइजेशन, कई जो एम्प्लॉयज होते हैं दे ओनली नो हार्ड वर्क एंड दे विल जस्ट कीप वर्किंग, बट देर आर सम स्पेशलिस्ट हु विल ओनली नो कि यार बॉस को ये दारू पसंद है, बॉस को ये आइसक्रीम पसंद है, देयर केआरएस बाय डेटा वोंट मैच. तो ये बाकी एम्प्लॉयज को इससे इन्फ्लुएंस होना चाहिए, कोई स्पेशलाइजेशन लेना चाहिए या इस
मेरे को ऐसे एम्प्लॉय मिले ना मैं दारू पीता हूँ ना मैं आइसक्रीम खाता हूँ. सो एनीवे बट आई स्टिल आंसर क्वेश्चन. तो I think these are very micro, subject matters. But ठीक है, at the start of your career, they may bother a lot of people. I don't think these things will survive for a longer period of time. They will die their own natural death.
Thank you so much.
At the end of the day, what matters is, yes, hard work and contributing employee.
Correct, sir.
People look for two things. Am I good and am I contributing employee and am I a contributing player or not? And three, am I adding to the positivity in the team or not? I may be damn good, but I'm not adding to the positivity. What will happen? No use. So, look at the game of cricket. A bowler is also a fielder is also a batsman is also a wicket keeper. So, there are multiple roles different people play in the game. And therefore, people are looking for those individuals who can wear many hats in the game, be a contributing member, bring positivity, and be a part of the winning team.
So friends, point addressed for all the women and men who aspire to reach the leadership position. They don't have to get into all this. Just add positivity and just be very contributing to the organization. That will serve the purpose. सर ये क्वेश्चन उन एम्प्लॉयज के लिए है जो अभी इस सेक्शन में है, वेदर दे शुड कंटिन्यू विद वर्क और वेदर दे शुड लीव. नाउ द इशू कम्स, देयर आर सर्टेन एम्प्लॉयज हु क्विट एंड देन दे डू बिजनेस, इट वर्क्स फॉर देम. सर्टेन एम्प्लॉयज हु क्विट एंड स्टार्ट समथिंग, बूमरैंग्स, कुछ नहीं होता, दे डोंट रीच एनीवेयर. तो सर कौन से एम्प्लॉय को ऐसा सोचना चाहिए, कौन सा स्टेज आना चाहिए जहाँ पे एम्प्लॉय सोचे कि अब हमसे नहीं होगा और अब हम कुछ अपना अलग करेंगे? ये कौन सा स्टेज होना चाहिए सर?
Very difficult to answer the question because it is a question of risk appetite first of all at a philosophical level. There is a person who gets a job here, it's not that they don't work hard, they also work hard, but they want to take the risk in a collective manner, in a team situation, and they want to contribute, and they want, I will take risk, but I take measured risk. Even job is a measured risk.
Correct.
And therefore, they aspire to be there and they're happy in that situation. But there are some employees who have a higher appetite for risk.
Oh, correct.
And I want a higher risk appetite, and I definitely want a higher reward. And therefore, and I want to be a master of my own destiny. So I think it comes from ambition. What is my ambition? Two, what's my risk appetite? What stage of my life do I have the risk appetite? Some people start very early, some people say, okay, I've earned enough, I've got financial muscle to be able to take the risk, and I have an emotional muscle to take the risk. Because anybody who starts a business is going to wait for some time period before it will become profitable, it will become successful, it will have a meaningful role. And I think the most important point is, over and above all that, is what business I want to get there,
Okay.
and what differentiation I will bring in that business vis-a-vis others in the business already. Or am I just a me too? There are people who open up a shop, I also open up a shop. Fine. But then, if they can think innovatively, okay, if I open up a shop, my shop will be different than somebody else's. Or I will open up a business which will be very different from somebody else's business. So I think it depends upon ambition, risk appetite, financial leverage, emotional depth, and ability to innovate, and for some period work independently. Because those who work in the organization are used to a certain fabric around them, but when you're going to be on your own, it's a different fabric. You have to live that journey. And I know many people who have left the corporate world and set up businesses and are very successful. It doesn't mean that leaving a job and getting into business is only risk. It's risk and reward come hand in hand. And I know many people who started, didn't do well, came back to the job market, came back to the job situation. So I think it depends upon many factors. I don't think there is a simple formula, but I think it clearly first stems from ambition, risk appetite, financial depth, emotional depth, and can I bring innovation in the area I want to do.
So friends, one important thing which we have got is that you don't have to go mayus with the situation. Whether it does well, it doesn't work well, you still will have a lot of options. So just don't worry. Keep going. Keep going with all what you have. अब सर एक थोड़ा ट्रिकी क्वेश्चन है that at times as employees we face a new boss who is actually not the right word, but okay, maybe the management hired him or her for a separate thing and the expectations are not matching for the senior management and there is a rift with the employees also. तो अब ये employees के लिए भी दुख दर्द है सर, और the person who has come for the person also is not right because that person has also left a job and come. So ऐसे टाइम में senior management को क्या करना चाहिए, because there are many people who are going through this.
So the selection process is today becoming more and more evolved and more scientific and data based, and it's a basic of assessing skills as well as psychological testing is happening.
True, sir.
And the post-COVID, the metrics of hiring have become different.
Okay.
So companies are going through a lot of testing to take the decision. But then nevertheless, the error of judgment can always happen. And the error of judgment does not mean that the person A is not a good person. The person A is not good for this job B. I think that's the first people have to understand philosophically. That A is not fit for job B. It's not the A is bad and the job is perfect. The job is bad and the A is perfect. So I think that's a philosophical acceptance people have to have. I don't know the latest data, but some time ago it was said that about 40 to 50% hiring decisions are not correct.
Oh,
It's the
that
error.
big. I think it's very small.
The error of judgment is around that zone. People may not bring out the data that may publicly. But, I mean, I think it's important for organizations to tell employees, or new employees who are coming in the company, that as much we take the responsibility of you being successful, you also take the responsibility of yourself being successful in the organization.
Oh, that's a wonderful thing.
It's an equal partnership role. It's not that I have hired you, now 100% responsibility is mine and yours is no responsibility. So that is not the domain. The domain is very clearly equally divided responsibility of making successful. The organization provides the platform, the convenience, the induction, the knowledge, the hand-holding. But at the end of the day, a line supervisor has to fly on his own to be able to be successful. Same, that the employees also have to see that here is a new individual, what are the skill sets he is bringing which we didn't know earlier?
Correct.
Maybe there's something to learn from it.
Yeah.
And not to say that we can only work with one kind of boss. And that's not correct, because I'll take my own personal example. I worked in an organization called Gillette for 18 years and never took over my boss's job. I had 8 different roles in an organization, but every time it was a different role, and I went through the maze of an organization to reach a different level of leadership. The reason why they said that was, not only your boss, the different bosses must speak for you.
Wow.
They must have a stakeholding in you. And you must be able to work with different kinds of people to be able to deliver on the job. So therefore, the employees have a role, the company has a role, and the manager has a role.
Perfect, sir.
And all have to come together, because whatsoever may happen, every new individual will bring something new on the table to learn.
Correct.
And if that's the mindset, that's the culture, things are different.
So friends, the most important thing, keep a positive attitude. There would be something good in that situation. तो सर ये अच्छा है that we all have to be positive and then we have to collaborate. अब सर from a senior management perspective and with a smaller company's perspective, एक wrong hiring हो गई है. Person is expensive and the rifts are growing. So what is it that the senior management can do about it?
So I think the senior managements historically have done various kinds of interventions. One is have a feedback session with the manager. It can have a joint session with the employees and the manager, which are very intense and they have to be handled very carefully, because egos come into play. And I've seen many times that has happened, and sometimes it is delivered well. Sometimes the manager is sent for coaching. That's also happened. That this person has come, he brings certain skill set, but others are absolutely missing. So what is missing can be put onto a coach. And now normally those in the areas of people skills and people development skills. If all that has happened and still the desired results are not coming, people say that we have to fire the person and we have to let the person go. I think it is re-careerizing. You have to re-careerize the person. You say, okay, maybe the person A is not fit for job B we have got. Can he do something else in an organization? Can he be put into some other role in an organization? And maybe he's very good there. And that has happened. Now, depending upon the size of the organization, the moving people from one job to another job may be possible. But in a very small organization, not possible. Recareerization is not possible. Then you say, okay, you say, sorry, I don't think it's working out the way we thought earlier.
Okay.
And maybe you look at it. It's an emotional decision. It's a painful emotional, but it has to be handled properly. It's okay, we give you time, you support people. It's okay, can I see your CV? Can I get people to support you to get into another career, into another role, into another job somewhere else? So where you'll be happier. And I have seen that the re-careerization and repositioning, some people are very happy. At that point in time, they were very unhappy.
Correct.
I was asked to look for another job and something, but later on they said, maybe I made some mistakes. Maybe that job was not for me. Maybe my skill set was somewhere else, and they're happier.
So this is a very motivating line for all those people who are losing their jobs or want to quit. Maybe life is taking a turn for your betterment only. So you don't have to worry about that. So sir, towards the end of the session, I want you to summarize your journey, which has got all the ups and downs, I'm sure, like for any person. But specifically for those people who are really aspiring to reach the top, so what are the major rules which they should follow to become something, and some things which they can avoid?
Okay. I think I would say a couple of things, and as my mind works, I will keep elucidating on it. First and foremost, be humble. I think be humble in your life. Respect what's around you. You're a beginning in your career. I know you're well endowed, well educated, studied, but first of all, be humble in life. 2, I think learn to work with people. Life is all about working with different kinds of people. People you don't know, people you will meet. So every day, think what new people I met today in my life and what I learned from them. 3, see what's my learning for the day. What did I learn today? I wanted my voice to be heard, but what voices did I hear? What did I learn today from somebody else? What did I learn? 5th, I would say have a faith in Almighty. God has charted out a career for you, a path for you. Today you may feel dejected, tomorrow you will feel very happy, then again feel dejected, but I think there is a path for you. I think have a big dream. Big dream does not mean unrealistic dream. Big dream means what I want to accomplish. And for some people it just may be money. Absolutely okay. For some people maybe the kind of jobs I want to do. For some people maybe fame. For some people maybe kind of roles I want to do in my life. So have a dream, have a realistic dream. But more importantly, have a path to the dream. Okay, in 5 years I will reach here. In 10 years I will reach here. In 15 years I will reach here. In 30 years, in 40 years, in 50. Don't have unrealistic goals in 6 months and 9 months and 1 year and 2 months. I see a lot of youth coming and say, I've been 6 months in the job, I'm not happy.
Yeah.
Oh, the other company has taken 6 months to understand what you do, what you can bring, what you cannot bring. So I think the point is that, be patient, and doesn't mean that you have to be sleepy and sloppy and not be ambitious. But have a career path goal and focus on that, and focus on actions. Don't only focus on results. Focus on what actions I do today, what inputs I do today, what work did I do today. Results will come over a period of time, because depending upon the situation, in some situations results will come earlier, in some situations results will come later, depending upon what role you are. If somebody is in R&D, a product will come after 3 years. Somebody in sales, he feel happy in the night I got a sales order. That doesn't mean that the role A and the person A is bad and role B and the person B is fantastic. I think you have to have your own measurement, and as we spoke earlier, have a good mentor, have a good sounding board, and keep visiting them and keep talking to them.
Guys, you have all the tips and tools to become successful. Now just go roaring. Sir, I cannot thank you enough for this valuable time of yours. So thank you so much, sir.
Pleasure mine to be with you after a long period of time, and I hope it's helpful and meaningful.
100%.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching this episode. We would be bringing more such wonderful people to our show. Till then, take care and don't forget, talk it out, sort it out.